Hi, welcome to HealthVOX. Welcome to another great show we have in store for you. We're going to go and see Super Chef Chad Sarno, who is a consultant on living foods. He goes to spas and resorts around the world and helps them set up live food kitchens. And he also does workshops and seminars. And we're going to see a little bit of a seminar we had up in Darien, Connecticut. And after that, I'm going to show you how to open a coconut and how to make some fresh coconut milk. So don't go anywhere. We got a great show in store for you today.
Time to work with the right people and apprentice with the right people. I was the staff chef of the Living Light Culinary Arts Institute, which is a raw food culinary arts school on the West Coast. I was staff chef for about 2 years. I helped open a number of restaurants in that process, did some personal training. I was one of the chefs that helped get Roxanne's off the ground. If anybody's heard of Roxanne's, it's a 4- to 5-star gourmet restaurant in the Bay Area that there's about a 3 to 4 month waiting list for reservations right now, which is, it's pretty spectacular of a place. So I helped with that for almost a year. Then I moved on to Gabriel Cousins' place down in Arizona, Patagonia, Arizona, the Tree of Life. He has an amazing raw food retreat center down there that they really focus on purifying and basically, the most vitalizing diet, I feel, is the green diet, which we can talk about a separate time, or I can mention it a little bit tonight. The green diet of a very low glycemic diet with low sugars, low ferments, no grains, legumes, and all that. But that's pretty much the outline that I use with a lot of my cuisine, which we'll talk about in a bit. So I was down there with Gabriel. I helped him start a 4-month apprenticeship program. They have a raw food chef apprenticeship program. It's a 4-month program down there. That's really great. And I also helped him with he offers also a master's degree in raw live food nutrition. It's a 2-year degree. It's a correspondence course, and I did the culinary 2-week course for that too. So I've been keeping busy. About a year ago, I stopped working for anybody, and I became my own boss and started my own business, Vital Creations, Chef Services, which I travel around and do this. And if I can't be somewhere, I contract out one of the chefs that I work with to be there and to do an event. So that's a little bit about myself. I had mentioned greasy, salty, yummy food, and that's what our main focus is tonight. is making raw food taste as cooked as possible without losing the enzymatic value of it. You know, there's only so many people that you can actually grab with raw foods if you just like lure them into the carrot or an apple or a head of lettuce, you know. But if you have like these oily, greasy cannellonis with the red pepper marinara, anybody's going to eat that, you know. Anybody's going to eat that. That's going to intrigue anybody, pull anybody in. And so my main focus and my main path of what I'm doing here, and it's taken a while for me to admit up to this, because when you get into raw foods and you get, you know, you get a little neurotic. I mean, I was, right when I got into raw foods, I got a little neurotic. Right, I was 110%, not just 100%. I was cleansing like every organ every other month and just going nuts, you know. And that's great for a time of your life, you know. That's really wonderful for a certain point in your life. And but I had to get that balance, you know. I would go on like raw food fasts, I called them. I would eat, you know, salads and fruits and nuts for about a week, and then I couldn't hang with it, and so I'd jump back on the cooked food wagon and, you know, go out and eat a lasagna the next day or something, you know. And so I wasn't feeding that comfort gap, you know. I wasn't feeding that emotional body. Okay, and for a while, right when I started teaching, I had a hard time telling people, okay, my path is helping people feed their emotional body, because and so my main focus is balance. Okay, we'll start off with a little balance before we get into the balance in the kitchen. A little balance with self. I feel for myself here. I get the stage, so I get to preach as much as I want here. All right. So, no, I really feel it's a balance of feeding all your bodies. You know, it's a really, you know, there's so many advocates that I've worked with that just focus on the physical, nothing else. And you know, I know of a lot of people who have gone to some health institutes that are in the United States, some health institutes that mainly focus just on sprouts and just on wheatgrass. Okay, so let's say you got someone that is sick with cancer or what, and they'll go to one of these health institutes and they'll get put on from jumping from a cooked meat-eating diet, they get put on this very strict sprouts, greens, sprout juices, no fat, no spice, no salt, and they're there for 3 weeks. Granted, they're having a great time because everybody around them is doing that. But they cleanse really quickly, and by the time they leave, they don't feel fulfilled, and they can't like feed that emotional body, that comfort body, and so they go and eat, you know, some potatoes or a steak again, you know. And so that's back and forth, and I know a lot of people who have experienced that, including myself. And so I really feel like it's a balance with feeding the physical body. If you're eating the majority of your diet being raw vegan cuisine, you know, and then that's fine. The physical body you don't need to worry about now, unless you have a sickness and you need to focus on supplements and whatnot. But cleansing's great for a time, you know, for a short time, and then just go off and on of it. But for myself, you know, I was just completely neurotic with it. So I kind of pushed it aside, and I cleanse every now and then. But I like to help people ease into transition with cleansing easily, you know, and cleansing while they're being embraced and comforted. You know, so you got the physical body fed there. Next, the spiritual body, the power of intention. Now, I'll keep on talking about this throughout the night. I don't go too much into it, but the power of intention is really important, I feel. The amount of intention. Okay, so tips of your fingertips down, curled back. Next, the tip of your knife always pointed down. Okay. Also, don't chop things like this. You slip, you're going to cut your wrist, you're going to cut your finger off. Probably not off, but you're going to cut your finger. You know. Okay, so if you're chopping a big head of kale, always keep the fingertip down. You slip, you go right to the board. Okay, it's not going to cut you. You're not going to stick yourself with the knife. Okay? So I'm just going to stress this up here. Okay, got some yummy kale there. Okay, next. Next, what we have some minced leek. Okay, you can do any kind of onion, green onion. Really nice in there. It's not needed. It's not part of the base recipe. The base recipe within this is you get the kale. Obviously, it can be any green. I want orange juice. Flax oil. You can use olive oil, flax oil. Sesame oil is a little too bitter to use with kale since it's already bitter. I would stick to either flax oil or good olive oil. Flax oil, really awesome flavor with this. So I'm just going to dump some flavor in there. Dump some fat in there. Easiest way to open an avocado. Let me show you here. one of the easiest. You just slice around the seed, turn, hit, seed comes right up. I see so many people peeling it and, way too much. Okay, then I'm just going to coarsely slice it in my hand here. Don't go through. It's going to hurt. And then just spit it in. I know, right? So many people struggle with avocados. It's so funny. For a while, I don't tell people. Like, if I tell them to prep a bunch of avocados, I don't tell them, and I just see them struggle for 10 minutes. It's great. But look how simple it is. That's an avocado. 30 seconds, you prepped an avocado. Okay, so you get the fat there. You've got lots of fat. You'll notice in a lot of my recipes, I don't just have one fat. I'll have like 2, maybe 3 fats, maybe 1 or 2 salts. I love fat and salt. Okay? I love fat and salt. I'm going to emphasize that. You guys will know that.
You love fat and salt.
You love fat and salt, yes. It's my mantra. It's your mantra. Okay. So next, I'm going to add some sea salt. Okay? I'm going to go off on a tangent about salt. Now, there's a lot of poisons out there. One of them is chemicals. Table salt is a chemical. It's a poison. Complete poison. Nothing is stark white in nature that is edible, that is a mineral, or that is a grain. Nothing is stark white. Okay, if you hold up the whitest of all sun-dried sea salts next to a piece of white paper, it's still a little gray. Okay, so the whole process of sea salt, of salt, of let's say like the largest salt manufacturer in the world is on the Dead Sea. They supply to Morton's and all those big companies. And what they do is they get this beautiful mineral-rich sun-dried gray salt from the Dead Sea, and they sun-dry it. And what they figured out a way to do is they figured out a way to heat it at some like outrageous temperatures, like over 2,200 degrees. And in that process, they're extracting the minerals that last through that heat. Why not? If you can make more money off it, right? And so, for example, Celtic sea salt, my favorite type of salt, is over 82 trace minerals in there. That's just the best type of salt that I've found. Any kind of sun-dried sea salt is a lot cheaper also. Celtic sea salt will run you about, $20 a pound. Any kind of sun-dried sea salt, French Atlantic sea salt is also sun-dried, which is like $3 a pound. So that's also great to use. Okay, so what they do with this mineral-rich salt is they cook it, extract the minerals that last through the heat, that they continue to sell them to supplement companies and pharmaceutical companies to make more money. It's a whole big food conspiracy. I don't want to go into it too much. So what they do, what they're left with is this black granular funk of a substance, which used to be this beautiful mineral-rich sea salt. Okay, and so what they then do is they bleach it with chemical bleach, chemicals that we like bleach clothing with, that we can't walk in a room that the floor is bleached because our eyes water and sting. They put that in food. Okay, they put that in white sugar, they put that in bleached white flour. It's like, there's so many chemicals out there that people like me that don't care what other people think of me, preach and tell people all about this. Tell the truth. Tell the shocking truth to people. I don't go too much off on veganism. That's why I have those flyers over there. But when it comes to chemicals and poisons in our body, I definitely really push that. If you leave here with anything besides a full belly, really leave here with the knowledge of reading labels. That's so important, is to read labels. If you don't know where it comes from, okay, and you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your body or on your body. It's a poison, it's a toxin, it's so harmful. Like, I go off on tangents, I'm sorry. But I used to, when I was a kid, I used to be in the shower and I'd read the shampoo bottle. Everybody do that every once in a while? Okay, good. Sure. Okay, I'd read the shampoo bottle, and on the back of this one shampoo that I used to use as a kid had over 32 letters in this one word. Okay, I couldn't pronounce the first 2 or 3 syllables, let alone the whole word. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is natural psychology. And so I'm putting that all over my hair, and it's all over my body, and I'm getting out of the shower going, I'm clean. It's like, come on. And that's the paradigm that we're in now. We need to shift our perception of okay, when I go to the food store, I'm gonna eat. I'm still gonna eat cooked food. I don't care what Chad says, and I'm gonna go eat cooked food. That's cool. But I'm gonna read labels, and I'm gonna make sure there's no preservatives and there's no chemicals in the food that I'm eating. That's really important. I really emphasize that. Okay, back to salt. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. for the kale salad. Next is my favorite part. Well, first we'll add some red bell pepper. Okay, if you look in that sweet category, there's a couple of non-obvious sweets, which are like bell pepper, cherry tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes. Those are the less obvious sweets.
That's added on to your recipe. That's just the recipe add-on.
This is this recipe. What do we got here? Yeah, it says 1 tomato or 1 bell pepper, either way. If you have the base down, awesome. You got the base, shift around the base, use spinach, use olive oil, use avocado, and use maybe some soy sauce for the salt. And there you have another base recipe that you just created from this recipe. Okay? So everything that we added right there is the base. Next we're going to add some bell pepper, one for the sweetness and also for color, aesthetic beauty of it here. Okay, it's very important also when you're chopping up all sorts of vegetables or garlic or whatever, that when you're chopping, you don't scrape your knife to gather it into a pile. Okay, what that's doing is completely dulling your blade. Okay, so when you're chopping, go flush with the board and scoop it like this, or just get in the habit of flipping it over and doing that. Okay, with the back of the knife. Okay, so we have all the ingredients here. Next is the best part. And if you guys don't like being one with your food, then you're probably not going to make this recipe exactly how it tastes. I like to dig in. I like to use my hands in a lot of recipes. A lot of people are quite shocked. My hands are very well taken care of. Fingernails trimmed back. But there you have. What I'm doing here is I'm massaging. Okay, I'm loving up the kale. Okay, I'm massaging it, and in that process, what's happening is the salt. This is the magic of salt. I not only use it because it tastes awesome and enhances every single flavor on the planet, but what it also does, the magic of it is when you massage it, there's a couple. Let's look at this. I have another chart of how to create cooked textures. Okay, and a way to create something to taste and feel cooked is a number of different ways. One is salt, 2 is massaging, and another one is dehydrating. Okay, so we're going to talk about that thing in a little while here. So what I'm doing is, what the salt does, as I massage it, it acts as like an osmosis process with the kale. It breaks down the cellular wall of the vegetable, softens it, and allows whatever flavors that you've added to be absorbed. Okay, that's why if you marinate something like that stir-raw sauce that I was telling you guys about, that miso dressing with some vegetables, let that sit. The salt in the miso softens the vegetables and makes them taste steamed or cooked. And then you can then put in the dehydrator, warm it, make it taste even more cooked, and serve it like that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm massaging the salt, and what it's doing is it's wilting the kale. It's completely wilting the kale. One, to help in digestion. The first step of digestion is, breaking down the cellular wall of the vegetable, and it's also making it more of like a cooked, marinated effect. So you can make this really quickly. It doesn't have to sit. This is best the day out. A lot of things I say.
All right, welcome back. Yaman. Here we have the coconut, this special tropical treat. Now, coconut is actually a seed from a coconut tree, and a coconut tree will grow from this. But today we're going to show you how to open this and how to enjoy it. This is a fresh, young green coconut, and you may be used to seeing it this way. That's the way I used to think it was, a coconut, when I was a kid. But this is actually inside the green coconut. So the way I get them are like this. It's the green coconut with some of the white trimmed away, and inside of here is still the hard coconut shell. So how do we open up a coconut? Well, that's the fun part. Let's show you. Now, I find the safest and the easiest way is to use a Chinese knife or a cleaver like this, and if it's nice and sharp, you can trim the coconut with this alone. Or you could use a nice chef's knife like this. This makes it very easy to trim the white. And Or you can also use a serrated blade. Inexpensive serrated blade works great. So let's get right to it. I like to take the plastic off. And I will use the chef's knife, which is my preferred blade. It's so sharp. And we're going to, again, cut away some of this white husk. Again, be very careful if you have a super sharp knife like this. Again, a serrated knife works wonders. A nice chef's knife like this costs about $80. And down here is the hard shell. So at this point, this is where we use this type of knife. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the back end here and hit it right into the sweet spot, as I call it. There's an area like about 1 inch or 2 down where you hit it in here, it creates a circular fissure, and you just pop the top off. So let's go right to it now. And there you go. Just use that like a little lever. And you might want to get a little close-up of this. This coconut is just full of water. So now our next step is to get the water out. I use my blender container. It just happens to be very convenient for me. And this is it could be tricky. Just go like this. Sometimes you drop a little water because it's full to the top. There you go. We got 12 ounces plus a little on the table here. Okay, our next step is to get the meat off of the shell. So basically what you do is you take the back of the spoon here and you put the back of the spoon towards the coconut meat and you just slide it between the meat and the shell and it comes right off. This coconut is very young and the meat's very thin. I'm going to put some of that right in the blender. We can do the same thing with the coconut itself. We'll just put the spoon in there and peel away the meat. If the meat is thicker, you can generally get all the meat out in one shot. In this case, it's somewhat thin. I'm just going to spoon it out. And it's really delicious. The coconut water is so pure that in World War II they used it for blood plasma when they were running low. This water is filtered right through the whole roots, the whole tree trunk, and it's just amazing. It's a sweet, nutty flavor. So at this point, I'm going to make some coconut milk. I don't put all of the meat in, I just put some of it because I don't like it too thick. And just put it here. That's it. So now we can serve it up. Delicious cold coconut milk. Nothing like this in the summertime or any time, in my opinion. Have a little bit for your favorite friend with you. And enjoy. So here's to you. Nothing like this on a hot day, cold coconut milk. So hope you enjoyed the show today. Remember, tell your friends to see us every Monday night here on HealthVOX. Hi, I'm Eric, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to open up one of those delicious, vibrant, antioxidant-infused fruits, the pomegranate. So, first thing you want to look for in a pomegranate is a nice deep color, and in the end there's like a little opening here. You want to make sure that looks clean. So let's go and open it up. Okay, the first thing you want to do is cut this in quarters. And it's so full of juice, it's amazing. So you don't want to wear anything too nice, because you might get a little of this red, delicious juice on you. The next thing I do is I take a bowl and I empty these little gems right into the bowl. So at this point, I just peel it away, and little by little, you can get them into the bowl. So once I've gotten all these little gems out of the pomegranate, I just go through it in the bowl, make sure they're all look great, take out any pieces that I don't need, and then they're ready to serve. So I like to serve them in a clear bowl like this with a spoon. And you may have had pomegranate juice out of a bottle, but there's nothing as refreshing and delicious as fresh pomegranates. So enjoy those pomegranates. Hello? Hi, good. Can I call you back in a second? Yeah, good. I'm just filming something at this very second. Okay. And just put it here.